John Fredericks, America's Godzilla of truth, popular and proficient in picking politics with prophetic precision. And now Jay Fred's picking football.
Are y'all ready for this?
All across the airwaves and streams of the John Fredericks Media Network. Brought to you by DraftKings.com. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla wins. Your guide to picking football winners. With America's Godzilla of truth, John Fredericks. Brought to you by DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com. Promo code Godzilla for the best money and betting giveaways in America. Before you make that play, hear what J. Fred has to say. Godzilla wins on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Oh yeah, for entertainment purposes only.
You're on Godzilla Wins. Great to have you with us. This is my favorite 1 hour of the week. As much as I love politics, well, I love football better. We're going to have a great time today, as always. Also, thanks for being with us on Getter Live. We appreciate it. Get your comments coming. We're going to take some phone calls today. I know we got one very upset Steelers fan that's chomping at the bit, Bud in Atlanta. He's got to weigh in. We're going to get to that. We got my panel here ready to go. Well, we got Godzilla. Not off to the best start. We'll get into that in a minute. We've got my son, Jack. He's live at the Jackpot Casino in Tunica. And, of course, our surrogate son, Nate. He is in Reno. Oh, by the way, Nate, you probably don't know this, but Black Salt is now carrying Reno. I just figured I'd throw that in there if you want to make a bet that Black Salt wins. I just got the poll out yesterday. Unbelievable. He's actually going to win Reno, even with your voting against them. But you could stay home. You got something else to do, Nate. No problem. We know you're busy. It's all good. It's great to have everybody with us today. Follow us on Getter Live and go to GodzillaWins.com. That's GodzillaWins.com. Hey, Jack's the editor of this site. He's posting stuff right and left. This is the place to be if you want to know what's going on with your team. Now, here's the thing, what Jack set up. If you're a homer, if you got a team that you follow, like I follow the Titans, and Nate follows Dallas, if you're a homer, then we want you to write for us. If you have some writing skills, and all you have to do is send us your resume, and Jack will go over that in a minute. Jack, before we get into this, if we got somebody out there that might want to write for us about their team, where do they go? How do they get involved? Where do they send their resume?
You can just go to www.GodzillaWins.com, and on the right-hand side, you should see a contact box just on the homepage, and you can click on that and navigate to a contact box that'll send it to us to our email. You can just pitch me whatever kind of column you want and send me some sort of writing sample, and we can go from there.
All right, that sounds excellent. Well, it's good to have all you guys in place. This broadcast brought to you by our great friends at DraftKings is rolling right now. The season's NFL, we're going into week 3. Here's what they've got going on right now. DraftKings, as you know, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. They're ready to roll like we are. They got everything going on. Here's what you do. If you just go to DraftKings.com and download their free app, and you just bet $5 on any NFL team to win, you can take any of our picks today. You get $200 instantly in free bets if they win. Boom. Now, if that's not enough, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays, Nate's favorite. Right now, for every leg you add, you can boost your winnings up to 100% with payouts bigger than ever. Why bet on football anywhere else? To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on stepped up same game parlays once per game all season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Godzilla. You get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. All you got to do is put in promo code Godzilla only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. States where it's legal only. Bonus issued as free bets. One boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at sportsbookdraftKings.com. Football teams. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call the Problem Gambling Helpline at 888-532-3500. Gentlemen, let's get right to it. Godzilla here off to a rough start. 5-11, or what am I? 11-20. Okay, that's just the beginning. Week 3, I love week 3. Week 3 is where I'm going to get even this week. I feel so good about it. I'm going to go on a rampage. Let's start, guys. Let's get right to it. Big game. Chiefs at Colts. I guess it's a big game if you're a Chiefs fan. You want to win again. Colts at home, a 5.5 point underdog. Colts 0-2, Chiefs 2-0. Nate, I'm just going to go right to you on this game. I mean, Indianapolis getting shut out last week in Jacksonville. Matt Ryan looks like he doesn't have the mobility to cover a postage stamp. They have no offense. I don't know what happened to Jonathan Taylor. What is going on with this team?
I mean, they're just bad. I mean, I think that, before the season we looked at this game and thought, ooh, Chiefs and Colts, pretty good game, pretty fun game. But it hasn't shaped out that way. I mean, the Colts are just terrible. They're horrible offensively. And they've had that bad offense against two terrible opponents. They've looked bad against Houston and Jacksonville, which doesn't bode well for, their future schedule. This is a team that just seems to be backsliding horribly. Matt Ryan just looks old and ineffective, and the Chiefs couldn't be, any more opposite than them. I mean, the Chiefs are absolutely rolling. This just looks like a gigantic mismatch. I don't usually love to lay the points like this, but I just don't see a way that the Chiefs don't just destroy the Colts here. I mean, I just don't see how the Colts can keep up.
All right, Nate likes Colts minus 5.5. Jack?
Well, I watch a lot of Colts
I'm
football.
sorry. Nate likes Kansas City minus 5.5. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jack.
Okay, yeah. I watch a lot of Colts football. I don't know why. Every week I seem to be watching them. What I can tell you is that what Nate is saying is right. They look horrible. The problem still with the offensive line, which I think we thought was going to be a little bit better, because the goal here for the offense was to control the line of scrimmage, move the ball with Jonathan Taylor, protect Matt Ryan, and make sure that he sort of doesn't have to make a big third down play every drive. That, I think, was the goal, and it isn't working. And then on the defensive side, they're giving up gigantic plays to teams that aren't that good. And they just look horrible. The Chiefs don't look horrible. They look like the Chiefs. We all know who the Chiefs are. This figures to be a blowout. But I took the Colts because they're my pick to win the division, and I can't quit them, and I bet them every week, and I keep losing these covers. And I just figure at some point they can't be this bad. Like, they just can't be this bad. So I have to go with the Colts and just pray that they kind of turn it around. I just figure in this game, the Chiefs play a little bit softer defense. They don't have a big defensive line. Maybe Jonathan Taylor can get rolling. Matt Ryan just has to make a couple throws. He just has to look like the quarterback that we've seen even a little bit in the last couple of years. And they keep the game close. I'm not saying they win, but 5.5 points is enough for me to take them. But I'm probably wrong. This is like my worst pick of the week.
I just don't see how they keep up. I'm with Nate on this game. The Colts just right now, they look pathetic. Matt Ryan looks like he needs to retire. I mean, the physical declination in Matt Ryan over the last 2 seasons has been dramatic. He looks worse than Roethlisberger did last year. Roethlisberger did for Pittsburgh. I just don't see this game. I don't see them stopping Kansas City, and they don't have any offense, and they don't have a quarterback. So I love the Chiefs here minus 5.5. Okay, big game. Buffalo goes into Miami. As you know, I got burned last week. I looked up. I had the game on. The Ravens had a 21-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and they had the ball. There's no way they lose that game. Dolphins torched them with 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter in Baltimore on the road. I've never seen anything like that. And it looked like to me at the end of the game, the Steelers' secondary was gassed, and they just couldn't keep up with the Dolphins' speed, and they just ran them out of there. I mean, how do you score 4 touchdowns on the road in Q4? Unbelievable. So, and I was surprised at the line. I thought it would be 3. Having said that, who the hell's going to stop Buffalo? I mean, you looked at them Monday night. Okay, the Titans stink, but I mean, that game was over in the third quarter, the beginning of the third quarter. I don't see anybody stopping this team until somebody beats them and they don't cover. I'm going to bet the Bills. I'm going to lay the 5.5 in Miami. I just think they are a much better team, and I think they win. Maybe that game at the Ravens is an anomaly. You got to remember, they were down by 21, right? So I like the Bills minus 5.5. Nate?
This game is weird. I'm super excited to watch it. I want to see what the Dolphins do here. And the line looks a little bit inflated to me just because I think that it probably should be closer to probably around 3. I think there's a little bit of value with the Dolphins plus 5.5 right now. But it did take, a massive comeback against the Ravens to, get them the win last week. So I don't know. I mean, the Bills are just so dominant that it's just ridiculous. They look like they can't be beat. But at the same time, sometimes the Bills, they did this last year where they had streaks of just unbelievable greatness, and then other times where they just threw out clunkers. Eventually, this Bills team will just not show up for a game. They did it last year. It's just a thing they do. I think that the play is probably the Dolphins here. I don't love the 5.5. I'd rather get 6, but I think the Dolphins are probably where I'd lean right here, right now.
All right, Jack has no pick on the game. We'll go to Washington. We'll go with Eagles at whatevers. This Washington team, they didn't look very good last week and really getting manhandled by the Lions. They came back at the end, but Detroit had that game well in hand the whole time. The Eagles made a believer out of me Monday night. They played a pretty solid Minnesota team, and Cousins looked, he couldn't get anybody open. All of his speedy receivers, that defense was suffocating. I'm not a Justin Hurts fan, but, he had a great game. The Eagles look to me like one of these teams of destiny where their defenses come together. They've got A.J., obviously. I'm a big fan of his. Maybe Hurts gets better. But again, when you get these teams on a roll like the Eagles are, they're going into Maryland, 6.5. This to me is a trap bet. Because if you take Washington with 6.5, you don't really expect them to win. You think, well, it's a rivalry, interconference, the game will be close. Maybe they'll win by 3. Okay, that was my philosophy on Thursday night. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Cleveland's a better team, right? That was just a bad pick that I made. I went against my belief system. I got burned. I'm not doing it again. I like the Eagles minus the 6.5 over the whatevers. Jack?
I didn't pick this game, but your belief system stinks. That's why you're like 11 and 21. I picked Washington last week, and they made me mad because they didn't cover and they looked like horrible. And I thought they had an explosive offense, and I guess they don't. Kirk Cousins, he looked horrible in prime time, but who knows? I don't really know anything about the Vikings. I said this last week. I'm not picking Vikings games for 4 or 5 weeks because I don't know who they are. So I'm staying away from those games until I can understand the team better.
All right, Nate.
I'm really into this Eagles team. I think they are a legitimately good team, and it hurts to say as a Cowboys fan, but their roster is just strong. I've said it every week. I think that this might be the strongest roster in the NFL, just top to bottom, with the exception of Hurts. But even Hurts is playing well. He adds so much value to this team with his legs. That being said, 6.5 just feels like too much. I'd love to get 7 with the Commodores, but I think 6.5 you still take here. The Commodores, Commanders, whatever, Congressmen, whatever they are horrible. Washington football team is bad. They got just torched early against the Lions last week. They were just down in the hole before they could even, get themselves together. But that being said, Carson Wentz is still sneaky leading the league in passing touchdowns, and he's passed for a lot of yards. The team, they can move the ball. They shouldn't be this bad. And I think that Philly is good, but I'm not sure they're touchdown favorites on the road good in a conference game, in a divisional game. So I think the Commanders are probably the play, but I don't love it. I don't love betting against my Eagles right now.
All right, so what's your pick?
Commanders.
All
Take
right,
the points.
plus 6.5. Look, being up in D.C. last week, I got to follow a little bit of the Eagles coverage. So the Eagles writers in the Philadelphia Inquirer and the Daily News, the writers, the beat writers that cover the Eagles are calling this Wentz week. Like they're going back to their jilted quarterback, and so there's been a lot of play with that. The bottom line is, they broke up with Wentz after winning them a Super Bowl and kicked him to the curb because they didn't think he was good. He was winning enough games for them, and he isn't any good. So I don't see any of the hype matters. I think, Carson Wentz, he is who he is. I like the Eagles in this game. Again, somebody's got to beat him. And until somebody beats them after their two dominant performances in the first week, I like the Eagles. George O'Bailey on Getter Live says Eagles potential division champs, but their rushing D needs work. And George Bailey says, I don't like the whatevers. I call them the Washington Rhinos. So, George, thank you for that comment. All right, let's get to one of my best bets. Bungles at Jets going to the Meadowlands. Bengals are a 6-point favorite. How bad is this Bengals team? 0-2. This is a team that just went to the Super Bowl 8 months ago. They were one deflected pass from being Super Bowl champions in the final minute, and now they just look like a mess. Going to the Jets, big upset win last week in Cleveland. Jack, what do you think?
I have the Jets winning this game. I've watched quite a bit of Cincy football, and I just think that their offensive line is the worst offensive line in the league. Joe Burrow's under pressure constantly. The Jets don't exactly have an incredible defensive line, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they can get something going. Sauce Gardner has been really incredible back there in playing cornerback for them. The defenses look good. This is maybe a little bit of an overreaction from last week's come-from-behind win. This is one of those games where you think, look, at some point the Bengals just have to win a game and just make a statement and blow someone out. But I think the Jets kind of hang around. I mean, I think you get 6 points. That's a lot for a team that has been in both games. I can't believe Nate is off the Jets. He's been picking them every week. Now all of a sudden he's on the Bengals. I'm going with the Jets. I think they cover.
All right, Jack, you like the Jets +6. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge bet for me. This is the biggest bet I've made so far this NFL season. I love the Bengals here. And I like the Bengals just kind of on a matchup play, kind of because this feels like an overreaction to the Jets winning last week. It took a pretty wild comeback against the Browns for them to get there. And the truth is that the Jets just don't match up very well with the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals, like, if we're being honest, they have probably the worst offenses in the league right now through 2 weeks. I mean, they just look horrible. That being said, they played two really good defensive lines. Dallas has a really good defensive line. Pittsburgh has a good defensive line. The Jets don't. So I don't think they're going to put the kind of pressure on Joe Burrow that he's experienced the last 2 weeks, which should allow them to perform a little bit better on offense. This feels like a game where everyone's, sort of overreacting to 2 bad weeks from the Bengals, and they're overreacting to a ridiculous comeback win for the Jets. I think that you take the Bengals here, load up on it, they win and cover easy.
I'm with you. I love the Bengals -6. It's my number one best bet of the day. I got 5 best bets. I'm going to give you all of those, but Jets aren't going to win this game. The Bengals are not going to go 0-3. So Bengals are going to win. Now, again, it gets down to a matter of how many do they win by. I'm fine with 6. The Jets stink, okay? They had one comeback win in Cleveland. I mean, again, Cleveland ahead by 17 in the fourth quarter at home. They stop playing football. The Jets come back and win. I think it's an anomaly. I like the Bengals here. We've got from Getter Live, Juice. What is it? Juice 169 says, I'm still seething from losing the under 38.5 on Thursday night. That field goal was a stake in the heart, Nate. What did you think of that?
Oh, on Thursday night? Oh, that touchdown at the end. I had 40.5. I was so excited. It was on 40 right up until the time expired in that touchdown. I'm still sick over it, too.
A lot of people That's why I never bet. I've never bet the over-under in my life. I think I bet it one time. I told you the story. Oilers in Oakland on a Monday night in like 1980, and I forget what the under was. 2 high-scoring teams. It was like 48. I bet the over. It was 0-0 at the half. I never bet the over again in my life. So that's my take.
You're 11-21. You might want to.
You know what? We don't have to keep mentioning. Last year I was 30 games over 500. Nobody kept saying, "Hey, you're 30 games over." It's week 2. We got a long season. I'm going to go on a rampage. I need one big week to get out, and then I go from there. So, hold your fire till the end of the season. We got another 15 weeks. We got playoffs. I'm going to be fine, right? You don't panic in week 3. You just stay the course, baby. Stay the course. Giorgio Bailey says Jets win if they don't turn the ball over. Okay, so let's go to, we got a couple others here, and then we'll go to the quick break. Lions going to Minnesota. Minnesota -6. A lot of these are interesting spreads, just a lot of 6s here, 5.5, 5 and 6. Lions going to Minnesota at 6. Minnesota looked positively horrible Monday night, right? After that big win at home against the Packers, and everybody's talking about their receiving core, and, maybe this is the season where Kirk Cousins really is, the Super Bowl type quarterback we all, many people believe he can be. The game was an absolute stinker for the Vikings. They were never actually in that game. They got totally manhandled both sides of the ball, yet they're coming home to a Lions team that, they were competitive in week 1. They won week 2. And remember, it was Jared Goff who said when they asked him about, how do you win these close games? And he said, first we have to figure out how not to lose. Well, they finally did that last week. I'm going to go with the Lions here, taking the 6 on the road. Nate?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, John. I think that the Lions are probably the play here just because I think that these are two teams that are basically constructed the same way. They're two teams that have horrible defenses. Lions have bad defense. Vikings is just atrocious. And they're two teams that have, real offenses. The Lions and Vikings both move the ball very well. They pass the ball very well. So what you're looking at is two teams that are basically the same, two teams that really can't probably stop each other very well. I think getting 6 points here is probably a pretty good play for two teams that look, like they have sort of the same deficiencies. I think this will probably be a shootout. I think this will be a high-scoring game, and I think the last team to score wins. So take the points.
Yeah, I like Detroit +6. Jack has no pick on this game. We're going to have to start calling you No Pick Jack. I'm going to my NFL best bet number 2. Ravens going to New England. Ravens a 3-point favorite. Look, I say this to my company's sales director, Julie, on a regular basis, okay? Because we fight on the phone all the time, right? Because we're in sales. That's what you do. We fight. And I always say to her, you think we're fighting and I think we're talking. And I looked at that Ravens game last week and I just scratched my head. Because for 3 quarters, they looked like one of the most dominant teams in the NFL, and then they absolutely collapsed. Meantime, New England, their offense is pathetic. I don't know what Matt Patricia is doing. They don't score. Their defense is okay. I think the Ravens. Did you see the Harbaugh press conference? The guy was white. I never saw. He was shaking. I just think the Ravens go in there and kick ass. I like the Ravens in the redemption game, -3. Jack, do you have anything to say on this game?
The first thing I want everybody to do is go to GodzillaWins.com and read our Ravens preview. Our senior Ravens analyst does a really nice job with those games, better than we can do. The 2 things I'll kind of mention about this game is I think I chose the Ravens. I'm pretty conflicted about this bet because I feel like the Ravens could go in and they could put up 40 and really make a statement about how they were pissed off about last week, or they could just let the Patriots hang around. One of the things that the Patriots kind of scare me with is they have the second best offensive line in the NFL right now, so they can really control the line of scrimmage and move the ball. If they can keep the ball out of Lamar's hands, maybe they keep it close. But you go Ravens -3. The line's not that bad. You don't have to give up that many points. You think the Ravens could have blown both games out, the Jets and the Dolphins, and they gave up all those touchdowns to the Dolphins late. So you could really be thinking about the Ravens as like a 2-0 top 2, top 5 NFL team without that meltdown. So I think the 3 points is you can stomach that.
Well, they're my second best bet of the day. I like the Ravens -3. I bet them 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks I didn't win. They didn't cover week 1. They gave that cover away, and then of course getting beat the whole game in that meltdown last week with Miami. I just got to read from Getter Live. American 93 says, let me get this, nothing worse than waking up to the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. American 93, that's so mean. That's so mean. I bet the Lions on Thanksgiving every day for 47 years. So I'm sure that trend will continue again. Okay, let's get to 2 0-2 teams. Las Vegas, old habits die hard. Raiders at Titans. Jack, you're all over the Raiders on this game. Start us off.
Well, the Titans are bad, and I've been on that for a long time. I think that the better bet might be, hey, listen, Titans game, Monday night, overreaction, taking the Raiders. The Raiders don't look that good either. Titans at some point have to clean it up. But their defense is horrible. The Titans, that is, they give up a ton of yards. They're not beating anybody at the line of scrimmage. Derrick Henry can't get anything going. And a team that muffs 2 punts and goes from bad to worse to blowout on Monday night is a team that the coach doesn't have in the locker room. This team is not going to win a lot of games. They're a total disaster. And the Raiders could be 2-0. Everybody seems to be off the Raiders, and they lost 2 very close games. So give me the Raiders. I think this is an easy win here. I don't understand the Titans bet other than people trying to make sure they're not a square better because the Titans look so bad. But I don't see it. I think the Raiders, that is, win this game big, even though it's in Nashville.
Nate?
I think I'm with the Titans on you here, John. I just think, this game was basically pick 'em before they played last Sunday, and on Monday night, when the Titans got blown out, this line moved to 2.5. That feels like an overreaction to me. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be that guy that doesn't want to be the square and just isn't going to overreact. The Bills are good. The Bills are good, and they destroyed the Titans. The Titans are a mediocre team. The Raiders are a mediocre team. Neither one is probably as bad as their record suggests. They're teams that will probably win games as soon as they, stop being allergic to winning. But for right now, Raiders, cross country, Titans at home, I like the 2.5. I'll roll with the Titans here, as much as I hate it.
Well, this is a must-win game for both teams. You can't start 0-3 and even think about the playoffs. Then you go basically into Jim Mora world where he says, playoffs, we just need to win a game. This is a must-win game for Tennessee, but it's as big for Vegas. So, but I'm kind of with you, Nate. Las Vegas has got to come across the country. They got to go to Nashville. The Titans were thoroughly humiliated on Monday night. That just wasn't a beatdown. That was a humiliation. And for Titans fans like me to watch that spectacle of basically we put our whole second string in on a Monday night game in the middle of the third quarter, can't catch a punt, penalties all over the place. It was a disgrace. And you really say to yourself, are we that bad? That looked like a team in the beginning stages of a rebuild, and it was an embarrassment. They've got to redeem themselves this week, or they're in big trouble. Now, our offensive coordinator, Todd Downing, is a complete moron. I know Vrabel's loyal. I'm loyal too, but the guy's incompetent. They need to fire him ASAP, run him out of Nashville on a rail. Having said that, I can't pick against I can't see them going 0-3 at home. I think somehow they win this game. But other than that, I don't know where they're going because that it's one thing to get beat. Okay, we got beat by the Bills. Okay, I get it, right? You're at Buffalo Mafia. But that kind of a complete physical beatdown from a team that has a culture over time of physicality in the line of scrimmage, and they got pushed all over the field. I don't know. I'm going to go with the Titans, but look, I'm going to see what happens, right? I'm not excited about my team this season after 2 disastrous games, but it's a long season. We'll see what happens. New Orleans going to Carolina, Cats plus 2.5. I love the Saints in this game, guys. Watching Baker Mayfield last week trying to bring Charlotte back, he looked absolutely pathetic again. And I sat there watching him thinking to myself, now I understand why the Browns kicked him out of town. All the hype, all the Heisman stuff going on with him, all his great days in college, and he had some good games with Cleveland. I don't think he's a legitimate NFL quarterback. I thought that game last week shocked me. Charlotte's got all kinds of problems. It starts with their head coach. I think he's gone by Thanksgiving. The Saints are a legit team. I think they go in and beat the Panthers. I like the Saints -2.5. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, this one hurts me to do. I like the Panthers here. I don't even think they need the points. I played them on the money line. I played them plus the points. I played them everywhere. I like the Panthers here. And I like them for a few reasons. And then I have my reservations, right? Matt Rule is not a good coach. The Baker Mayfield reclamation project is not going well. But that being said, I think that they are a better team than the Saints. I think that they have better offense. I think they have better defense. I think they have better special. I think that every aspect of the game, I think they're better than the Saints. So I don't understand how we're catching points at home in a divisional game. This just looks like a spot for the Panthers to get right. Matt Rule still might be gone by Thanksgiving, but I think they at least get this one. Take the Panthers here.
All right, we're going to go to a quick word from our sponsors, Derek. When we get back, we got Texans and Bears. We got my best bet, number 3. We got Jags at Bolts, Rams at Cardinals, all the afternoon games, Monday night and Sunday night, all coming up right here on Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and due to your incredible support, the original My Slippers are almost completely sold out. As a special thank you, I am launching my brand new all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98. This is a limited time offer, so go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code, and you'll get all my new footwear for as low as $29.98. My all-season slippers are made with my exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slipper. They're finished with a breathable fabric so you can wear them all year round. And my new slides and sandals are made with patented impact gel, making them ultra comfortable and extremely durable. I guarantee they'll be the most comfortable footwear you'll ever own. So go to MyPillow.com now to get your very own all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98 with your promo code. This is an introductory offer and it won't last long, so order now.
Keep your feet cozy. Go to MyPillow.com/promo code Godzilla. MyPillow.com, promo code Godzilla.
The NFL action is in full swing at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We're talking touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger ones. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. If that's not enough, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Right now, for every leg you add, you can boost your winnings up to 100% with payouts bigger than ever. Why bet on football anywhere else? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code Godzilla to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's promo code Godzilla only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Virginia only. Bonuses issued as free bets. 1 boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football. Terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call the Virginia Problem Gambling Helpline 888-532-3500.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from West Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
You've heard Patrick Aslan come on the radio and talk about the economy and finances. Have you heard about Patrick's company, though, Target Trading Academy? Here's one of his students.
Hey, this is Brent from Pennsylvania. So I was always interested in futures trading. Heard Patrick on the John Fredericks show one day and figured, you know what, I'm going to take a crack at this. I'm so happy I did. The program they offer is all about discipline. It's not only a technical program, but it also teaches you mentally how to keep the money you earn. If you're interested in futures trading, I highly recommend you give them a shot. You won't be sorry.
For a limited time, we're allowing JFR radio listeners free access to our live trading room for one day. Just call us at 888-203-3731 and mention the promo code Godzilla. 888-203-3731, targettrading.co. We'll see you in the live trading room.
You're listening to Godzilla Wins, brought to you by DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com, promo code Godzilla for the best money and betting giveaways in America. Here comes the Godzilla of truth, Godzilla Wins, on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Thanks for being with us. We've got Jack at the Jackpot Casino in Tunica, my son Jack. Also, we got Nate at the Cal Nev Casino in Reno. Even though they kicked him out, he goes in there with one of those mustachioed glasses so they can't recognize him, or maybe got his hair shaved, or maybe put a suit and tie on. We have no idea, but the cameras can't seem to pick him up. He sneaked in after they had a lifetime ban. So, but see, that's why I love Nate, right? You got all these casinos in Reno, right? So where does he go? The one that they banned him from. I mean, that's why you got to have him doing your pick. Who would do that? Only Nate. By the way, we're having our corporate meeting in Las Vegas, aren't we, guys? Or is that, oh no, Nashville. That's in Nashville. Hey, guys, you want to get in on the action, there's one place to go, DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.com. All you have to do is download their free app, put in promo code Godzilla, bet $5 on any game that we have today. $5. You can't get a cup of coffee at Starbucks for that, right? $5, boom, you get $200 of free bets if your team wins right off the bat. Plus, they got same game parlays. DraftKings.com. Download their app, promo code Godzilla, take the $200 and have some fun for entertainment purposes only, of course. Let's get to Texans going to Chicago in Soldier Field. Bears -3 at home. Jack, what do you see?
I think the Houston Texans are going to win the AFC South. I am just in love with this team. Davis Mills just throwing the ball all over the place, keeping games close. I don't even know what their record is. I just love them. Here's the problem with the Bears. Justin Fields has completed eight passes past the line of scrimmage. They drop these plays and they let him just pass a little screen, dump it off to the halfback. Justin Fields is a mess. This is not a get right game for the Bears. This is not a game where Justin Fields can finally get comfortable. They shouldn't have won that game in Week 1. Meanwhile, Houston's rolling. Love this team. Love the 3 points I'm getting. If I had to lay 3 points, 6 points, whatever I do it, I'm taking Houston. Go check out those teams to win the AFC South. This team's going to go on a roll, and they're going to win 7 games and win the AFC South because this is the worst division I've ever seen.
7 games right now would probably win this South. I'm not a Texans believer, as you are. I'm not a Davis Mills believer. Look, I think Chicago in the game, Sunday night at Green Bay, I think they were a little more competitive in that game than met the eye. I mean, Packers never really blew them out. I think what the final score was 27-10 or something. I mean, that game was a little more competitive, I think, than met the eye on the final score. I like the Bears here. I like them at home. I'm not a Justin Fields fan. Obviously, the Chicago offensive game plan is to not have him pass the ball. So you're going to have a very low-scoring game, again, with the Bears, but their defense is tough. But look, at home, at Soldier Field, Texans, I don't see it. So I like the Bears -3. All right, let's get to my best bet number 3. Jacksonville goes to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Now, this game, guys, I want to explain what happens here in Vegas. This game opened at 8.5. 8.5. It immediately went down to 8. So immediately people thought that was too big of a lay after Jacksonville had the big win over Indy. So it opens at 8.5. It goes down to 8. Then it goes down to 7. Then A-Bear is now doubtful for this game. Could play doubtful. Then it plummets to 3. So here's the deal. Chase Daniel, likely to be the starting quarterback for the Chargers, laying 3 at home over Jacksonville. Everybody and their brother in Vegas has bet the Jags because this has gone down from 8.5 to 3. In Las Vegas, to get that kind of a move on the line, I mean, you are talking hundreds of millions of dollars, because what happens to the casinos is they get caught in the middle, right? They get people like me betting San Diego -3. They had a bunch of people betting the Jags +7 or 8. The game ends at 5. They lose both ends. Tremendous amount of money has gone on the Jaguars. Public loses. You've never seen a casino in Vegas that goes broke. The public loses. I bet against the public all the time. I always win. Besides, Los Angeles has just got a better team. And I don't know how bad Indy is. I like the Jags. This is my third best bet of the day. I like the Jags -3. Jack?
I mean, this is why you shouldn't be allowed to pick AFC South games. You're just never going to pick any team in the AFC South unless they're playing each other, because you hate all of them. So it just doesn't matter who they're playing, or where they're playing, or what the conditions are, or the context. You're going to lay a gazillion points to pick another team. Jacksonville, they beat Indy pretty bad. I don't think Indy's that bad. I think Jacksonville could be a good football team. Maybe they don't win 10 games. 3 points is tough. You'd rather get 8. But look, Justin Herbert's most likely not going to play in this game. Chase Daniel is not the answer here. All the Jags have to do is keep it close. It's been a wild NFL season already. I can see Jacksonville winning this football game. I'll take the 3 points. Just give it to me. Now, I'm betting every AFC South team except the Titans, so maybe my strategy of taking every AFC South team just to make you mad is also a bad strategy. But for right now, I'm going with the Jags, baby. Maybe the Jags win 6 games and win the division. Maybe the Texans win 7 games and win the division. I got the Jags. Give it to me all day. AFC South. Love it.
All right, so Jack's going here with Jacksonville +3. My third best bet of the day. I love San Diego -3, or Los Angeles, whatever they are. I love the Bolts. They're just a better team. And so Chase Daniel, yeah, he hasn't thrown a pass since 2000. I get it. I'm sorry, 2020. I get it. But this is a trap game. All the public money on the Jags. I'm betting the Chargers. Rams at Cardinals in the desert. Rams haven't really looked that great. Cardinals, big comeback last week. I don't like the team, but hey, down, 23-3, 20 zip in Vegas. They come back, get the 2-point conversion. Unbelievable. Nate, what do you think?
I love the Rams here. This is, the Rams looked like they got right against Atlanta. They built a pretty big lead pretty early, and then they kind of gave a little bit of it back, but they looked more like the Rams team that we're used to seeing. And the Cardinals are still just trash. I mean, Kyler Murray has played like garbage for 7 of the 8 quarters this season. He had one wild comeback against the Raiders, who are not very good. I don't see how they're this short of a favorite. And the reality is that Sean McVay just owns Cliff Kingsbury in these divisional matchups. I mean, he just dominates him. So, a lot of it just comes down to coaching. Sean McVay is just a way better coach than Cliff Kingsbury is. The Cardinals are not good. I just love the Rams here. It may be a square bet. It may be a trap, but I think laying 3.5 is just a huge bargain. I'm on the Rams here.
I think they're a better team, and I'm kind of with you on the Cardinals. I don't like the organization. I don't like the team. I don't like their defense. I don't really like anything about this team. And I said they were one of the biggest 2 fake teams in this 2022 season, along with the Broncos. Now the Titans could be in that category, but so that's kind of a disaster. But I love the Rams here. I think they get back on track. I think they go to Arizona, get a big lead. I don't see another one of these comebacks. The other thing is their D-line is so much better than Vegas's. So Kyler Murray's not going to be able to run around there drawing up plays in the dirt. I'm with you. I like the Rams -3.5. Okay, my best bet, number 4, Pack. I love the Packers. I love Rodgers. I bet them almost every single week, especially when they're at home. They're going to Tampa. I think Brady hurt his thumb, might not be 100%. Here's my take right off the bat. Packers are an evolving team, Nate and Jack. They're an evolving team. Rodgers still doesn't like his receivers. If you look at the game against Chicago, he only threw to his 2 or 3 veterans. He will not get the rookies involved in the game. He doesn't like their work ethic. He says they got to earn their way in the huddle. I think the Packers are going to get there, but I think this is going to take a weeks and weeks of a slog for Rodgers to get set with these new receivers. The Bucs, on the other hand, you can't beat them if you don't score. This has got to be the best defense I have ever seen in the NFL in a while. They got speed, they got height, they got size, they're physical. I just don't. And the Packers, they've got 2 veteran receivers. He can't keep throwing to them. I love Tampa in this game, with or without Brady's thumb at home. They're only -1. I expected this game to be -3. A lot of respect for Rodgers. This is best bet for me. Number 4, I love Tampa Bay -1. Jack?
I don't think I picked this game. One thing that I know is I generally stay away from games where I don't know a lot about one of the teams. I don't know who the Packers are. I know that they probably are a Super Bowl team with a horrible roster and one of the greatest quarterbacks I've ever seen. So that scares me. I watched the Bucs-Saints pretty much the whole game. That was on Fox, where I live, in the South, I guess. And the Bucs didn't look very good. I mean, the defense looked okay, but Brady looked like a mess. And they can't really protect him. He just looks kind of old. He doesn't, if Julio Jones can't get an explosive play here or there, they can't really move the ball. The analysts are saying, well, it's Dennis Allen's defense. Brady stinks in the Superdome. But maybe Brady's just getting old and just isn't looking that good. He looked okay against Dallas. Maybe Dallas stinks. I don't know. I don't think I'm picking this game. It's too many question marks for both teams. Just enjoy it. It'll probably be a good game. Just sit back and relax.
Nate?
Yeah.
You're the tiebreaker.
I couldn't disagree with you more, John. This is not a team I like. I hate the Packers. I hate Aaron Rodgers. But anyone that reads my column, Dispatches from a Degenerate, on GodzillaWins.com, knows that they were the first Super Bowl future bet that I've made that doesn't just exist in pure fantasy land. I love them at 15-1. I think that this is a team that's growing into a monster. I think that they aren't quite there yet, but I think they're getting there. And I think that it starts with a statement win against Tom Brady. You know Aaron Rodgers wants this for the team. And the reality is that Tampa is not that good. Defense is all right. The offense is a disaster. Who knows who's going to be playing on their offensive line? They're hurt up and down. There are no healthy receivers. Tom Brady has looked pedestrian at best. They're a team that's banged up, and I just don't know if they can score against a Packers defense that's pretty good. This just looks like a bad matchup for them, and they're coming in at a bad time with a ton of injuries. Mike Evans is suspended for the Buccaneers. They have injuries everywhere else. I just don't see how Tom Brady can pull the rabbit out of his hat here and beat a good Packers team that seems to be getting better every week.
Until Rodgers can throw to more than 2 veteran receivers against a very good defense like Tampa Bay, I just don't see it. Now, I think I'm with you. I picked the Packers to get to the Super Bowl, and I think they're going to get better every week. I just don't see it here. So we're at odds on this game. I like the Bucs. You like the Packs. The Pack. We'll see what happens. Okay, Jack. The Atlanta Clown Show goes to Seattle. You bet Atlanta twice, Jack. You're 2-0. They covered both times, both backdoor covers. I'll start with you, Jack, on the Atlanta Clown Show.
I'm not looking at it. What's the line? I forgot.
1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love Atlanta. I didn't bet them week 1, but I should have. Nate did, and he covered. I bet them last week against the Rams. They covered. I love this team. I mean, they control the line of scrimmage against teams that don't have a good defense. So if the team doesn't have a good defense, they can control the line of scrimmage. They couldn't do it last week, but, I mean, look, the Rams, they got a great front. So if they can get Patterson, their running back, involved, and they can move the ball downhill, it opens up Mariota to make some really good plays with his legs. And their defense has looked really good. And then not only that, they play really hard for Arthur Smith. Titans offensive coordinator comes over Atlanta. It just seems like the team wants to play for him. They never give up. They almost beat the Rams. Nobody is talking about that. They were really close. The biggest problem with the Falcons is that Marcus Mariota makes one stupid play in the fourth quarter, or at least he has in the last two games. I'm just hoping that he makes the stupid play in the first quarter so they have time to recover, and then they beat the Seahawks. I mean, I love Atlanta. They're going to cover. They're going to win this game. This team could be 2-0 as well, and I don't say that lightly. Give me the Falcons. I'm watching this whole game. Love this team. They're going to win.
All right, Nate and I have no pick in this game. I really could care less. These are two losing teams, and the way I coined this is basically it's the Atlanta Clown Show versus the Pete Carrolls and the Geno's ragtime band. I could care less. So I have no pick in the game.
And this is why, now you're getting scared because you used to be like, I'm picking every game forever because I'm 30 games over 500. Now you're getting walloped, and, you're avoiding games that you have no feel for. Watch the Falcons this week. Come back with me next week.
Look, I bet against them 2 times. They backdoor covered twice. Seattle's horrible. I'm not a Mariota fan. I don't like either club. I could care less, so I just have no pick. All right, let's get to. But I see what you're saying, because I do pride myself on picking every game, but I'm just not out of principle picking the Atlanta Clown Show. San Francisco. This is best bet for me, number 5. San Francisco goes to Denver. They got Denver as a 1-point underdog. San Francisco -1. Nate and Jack, I absolutely love the Niners in this game. And I'll give you my number 1 reason. Jimmy Jesus. I think Garoppolo is just a better quarterback right now than Trey Lance. He's sidelined. The team believes in Jimmy Jesus. He's a veteran. He's a game manager. I think he's rallied them. I think they're going to go on a roll. I think Trey Lance's biggest problem is getting back his starting job on this team in 2022. I don't think Garoppolo gives it up. Remember, this guy took him to a Super Bowl. I mean, he's a veteran NFL quarterback that doesn't blow games. They're a better team. They're going to Denver. Denver is the second biggest fake in the NFL. They have no offense. Their defense is okay. San Francisco goes in here. I see them winning this game. They're just a better team. And their quarterback situation, they're better off with the veteran. I love San Francisco in this game, going to Denver, winning big. Let's go to Nate.
I guess I like the Niners here, but it's mostly just a play against Denver. I mean, Denver is just so bad. I mean, Russell Wilson, I don't know what they did to him when he got to Denver, but he does not look like the same guy that left Seattle. I mean, he just looks immobile. He looks confused. He looks unsure. I mean, they haven't used him the right. I don't know if they're not using him the right way or if he's just getting older and slower or what's going on there, but something is like really not right. I tend to think it's probably a combination of him getting older and the fact that Nathaniel Hackett, their head coach, is horrible, and has looked sort of like he's getting out-coached in every game they've played so far. This is mostly just a play against the Broncos because I just think they're a mess and they haven't shown me anything. I mean, I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is probably about the same as Trey Lance in terms of, value to the point spread. I think that their defense probably gives some trouble to the Denver offense because why wouldn't they? And at the end of the day, this is Kyle Shanahan, who's like a real coach, versus Nathaniel Hackett, who's like probably going to get fired before the end of the season. So, just take the Niners here. It's not sexy. I really don't care about this game very much, but Niners are probably the play.
I love the Niners in this game. I don't even think it's going to be close. They're just, look, they have a better roster. And you're absolutely right about Wilson. He looks horrible. A lot of these quarterbacks get to the end of their career. He's got and the whole play calling in Denver, it's worse than the Titans or it's on a par. I mean, it's a complete garbage show they got going on there. So I love San Francisco in this game. I'm a Jimmy Garoppolo fan. I was shocked that, They took him out early. I get Trey Lance. I get the hype. I get he's the quarterback of the future. But even the way Garoppolo handled this, I mean, he handled it like an adult. The guy's a veteran. I love San Francisco in this game, going to Denver and winning it. All right, Nate, your Cowboys go to the Giants. Everybody's in love with the Giants. This is the new ESPN love affair where they're all drooling over the Giants and their new coach, Dayball, right? Because Indianapolis is 0-2 and they can't salivate now over the Colts and over, their new quarterback, Ryan, and how great the Colts are and how great Frank Reich is and how great Jonathan Taylor is and how the Colts are the team. Normally that's a team where the whole ESPN crew salivates over them. They dribble over them. Now it's the Giants. It's all I hear. Every time I turn ESPN on, I got some of the Giants are 2-0, talking to the fans. This is a team of destiny. What do you think, Nate?
I mean, I like the Cowboys here. I mean, they showed a lot of heart last week. Cooper Rush came in and performed well. They got a good win, a win that people didn't, really expect them to get against the Bengals. And this Giants team is just not real. They're 2-0. Yeah, rah, like good for Giants fans or whatever. But, at the end of the day, they won 2 games that they probably could have lost very easily. Maybe should have lost both games. And those 2 games were against teams that aren't very good. They beat the Titans by 1 in week 1. They, grind one out against the Panthers, win by a field goal. I mean, that's not like a good 2-0 team. Struggling against those 2 teams does not make you a good 2-0 team. So, Cowboys are 1-1. Cooper Rush seems pretty good. I don't think that, there's a clear quarterback edge here between Daniel Jones and Cooper Rush. Daniel Jones is just far from elite. And I think that Dallas has a better roster. I think that, the wrong team is favored here. I think Dallas goes in there and wins. And just kind of an ugly battle, defensive battle. It'll be low scoring, but I think Dallas gets there.
Jack, Giants at home at the Meadowlands are a 1-point favorite over Dallas. Jack, what do you see?
Yeah, I mean, despite your gross mischaracterization of, ESPN media coverage, which they're not ruling over the Giants, everybody knows Daniel Jones stinks. I'm still going to go with the Cowboys. I think we're all really trying hard not to overreact to the fact that the Giants are 2-0. That seems like what we're all trying to do. It's just, hey, listen, the Giants aren't very good, and so let's not bet them. So I took the Cowboys. You're right. Nate's right. Cooper Rush looked pretty good. They beat the Bengals. The Bengals are supposed to be good. And this is a divisional game. So my thing is, at some point, Daniel Jones is going to throw 13 interceptions in a game. I watched that guy stare down the same receiver every single play. He calls hut, hike. He drops back. He looks at his first option, and he throws it to them. And he never checks down to anyone. I mean, I could do this. So I can't believe that they're 2-0. Saquon Barkley is a beast, and if he stays healthy, yeah, maybe they just keep winning games this way. It's ugly, but they win. But I got to take the Cowboys. You got to think on Monday night, Daniel Jones just looks like a disaster, and the Cowboys just roll. But we could be wrong. I don't know. I don't really like this game. I just think we're trying not to be the squares here and bet the Giants. So we all took the Cowboys.
I love the Cowboys in this game too. I'm just not a believer in this Giants team. So we're all going with Dallas +1. I can't believe I'm getting 1 either. Dallas is a better team. Now, look, I've been hammered the first couple of weeks betting the better teams. It's not worked out. Things turn around. I'm going to go on a huge roll this week. Next week when I'm on the show, I'm going to be at 500. Then I'm going to take off from there like a bat out of hell. Everybody go to GodzillaWins.com. Sorry, Steelers fan, we're out of time. Go to GodzillaWins.com. That's GodzillaWins.com. And there you're going to find Nate's six-pack today of college picks. Nate's six-pack. He got off to a hot start last week. Go to GodzillaWins.com. Sign up there. It'll come right to your inbox. Everything we post, great content. If you're interested in writing for us, go to GodzillaWins.com. Fill out in the contact icon, and we'll get right back to you. Stephen K. Bannon is next.